Hello, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to talk about the art of war. First, let's talk about some questions to keep in mind while we're going through this great classical work. 1. What is war? 2. How does war affect us on an individual basis every day? 3. Is war man's natural state? Many philosophers have suggested that yes, war is man's natural state. Many more have argued against that. I'm not even going to attempt to say one way or the other. All I know is that if war is basic conflict, and we are all in conflict all the time, then perhaps it is man's natural state. And everybody that says otherwise is trying to deny a base part of the human experience. Whether we want to accept it or not. Okay. I have found on a site called LibriVox an audiobook form of The Art of War that is in the public domain. So I'm going to be using clips from that to help with my explanation of the book. As a matter of fact, we're probably going to go over half of the book just in that using that method and ignoring the back half. I will find a link so that you can download the entire book and read the whole thing for yourself, or listen to the rest of the audiobooks off of LibriVox. Sorry. Anyway, with that said, let's cue clip 1, The Art of War, Laying Plans.
This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information and to find out how you can volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Moira Fogarty. The Art of War by Sun Tzu. Translated by Lionel Giles. Part 1. Laying Plans. Sun Tzu said, "The art of war is of vital importance to the state. It is a matter of life and death, a road either to safety or to ruin. Hence it is a subject of inquiry which can on no account be neglected. The art of war, then, is governed by 5 constant factors, to be taken into account in one's deliberations, when seeking to determine the conditions obtaining in the field. These are 1. The moral law, 2. Heaven, 3. Earth, 4. The commander, 5. Method and discipline. The moral law causes the people to be in complete accord with their ruler, so that they will follow him regardless of their lives, undismayed by any danger. Heaven signifies night and day, cold and heat, times and seasons. Earth comprises distances, great and small, danger and security, open ground and narrow passes, the chances of life and death. The commander stands for the virtues of wisdom, sincerity, benevolence, courage, and strictness. By method and discipline are to be understood the marshalling of the army in its proper subdivisions, the graduations of rank among the officers, the maintenance of roads by which supplies may reach the army, and the control of military expenditure. These 5 heads should be familiar to every general. He who knows them will be victorious. He who knows them not will fail. Therefore, in your deliberations, when seeking to determine the military conditions, let them be made the basis of a comparison in this wise. 1. Which of the 2 sovereigns is imbued with the moral law? 2. Which of the 2 generals has most ability? 3. With whom lie the advantages derived from heaven and earth? 4. On which side is discipline most rigorously enforced? 5. Which army is stronger? 6. On which side are officers and men more highly trained? 7. In which army is there the greater constancy both in reward and punishment? By means of these 7 considerations I can forecast victory or defeat. The general that hearkens to my counsel and acts upon it will conquer. Let such a one be retained in command. The general that hearkens not to my counsel nor acts upon it will suffer defeat. Let such a one be dismissed. While heeding the profit of my counsel, avail yourself also of any helpful circumstances over and beyond the ordinary rules. According as circumstances are favorable, one should modify one's plans. All warfare is based on deception. Hence, when able to attack, we must seem unable. When using our forces, we must seem inactive. When we are near, we must make the enemy believe we are far away. When far away, we must make him believe we are near. Hold out baits to entice the enemy. Feign disorder and crush him. If he is secure at all points, be prepared for him. If he is in superior strength, evade him. If your opponent is of choleric temper, seek to irritate him. Pretend to be weak, that he may grow arrogant. If he is taking his ease, give him no rest. If his forces are united, separate them. Attack him where he is unprepared. Appear where you are not expected. These military devices, leading to victory, must not be divulged beforehand. Now the general who wins a battle makes many calculations in his temple ere the battle is fought. The general who loses a battle makes but few calculations beforehand. Thus do many calculations lead to victory, and few calculations to defeat. How much more no calculation at all? It is by attention to this point that I can foresee who is likely to win or lose. End of Part 1.
Okay, so what did all that just mean? First line out of the book. War is of vital importance to the state. Sets the tone for the entire book. From antiquity to the present day, government has been put in place for a few reasons. Chief among them, defense of the collective and the procurement of resources. While in a civilized society, trade is the preferred method of procurement, even a civilized nation, when opportunity presents itself, will engage in piracy and plunder. We have only to understand there is a word for a state-sponsored pirate, which happens to be privateer. Under modern law, piracy is considered an act of terrorism against the populace. And I happen to agree with that. We come down to 5 factors. The moral law. I like to think of this one as also known as the faith. In the military, they have this thing called the faith. It has nothing to do with religion. It's about keeping faith between you and the guy standing next to you on the line. Because I can't do my job if you don't do your job. So if I'm trying to stay alive, I have to keep you alive so you can watch my back. That's like the very base bottom part of it. The moving it a little bit broader, we could actually use the faith in our fellow man in a larger context in our society right now. Let's see. Number 2, heaven. There's not much to say there. They explain that very well. Earth, same. Back into the book, they get into heaven and earth in a lot more detail. It's about not marching your troops through the swamp if you can find a better path. Then we come down to number 4, the commander. The commander is a very interesting one to include in the 5 factors of figuring out who's going to win. They talked about making calculations and plans. Calculations and plans are good. We could see examples of people that have made good calculations and plans, and people like Elon Musk, Donald Trump, several other people we can mention from history, and people that made bad plans. We can go into 1930 Germany for that. A little segment of time before. We could go into several American presidents that I think typify the bad commander. One is Obama. And another is Biden. And if you're generating more enemies, then you have the ability. Well, let's see. Let me rephrase that. If you're generating more demons and devils than you can put down, then you're probably not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Method and discipline. That goes back to the carrot and stick kind of thing. It's really all that is. If your troops are well paid, well taken care of, well fed, it'll come back around to number 1, moral law, aka the faith. If you're taking good care of your people and you're smacking them in the back of the head when they need to be smacked in the back of the head, everything's cool. If you're only giving them rewards and letting them get away with murder or whatever, small infractions lead to larger infractions, lead to rebellion. So you can't just reward your people, and then you can't just punish your people, because if you come down with an iron glove, they're all going to just walk off, metaphorically speaking. And then they're going to have that one finger hanging up in the air that everybody loves to show each other. So that's our 5 factors. And that brings us to the excuse me, end of my rundown on laying plans. I do want to mention that I'm sorry that I sound like I'm out of breath and I'm having a hard time and stuff. I do have severe back problem that's caused by gas that causes me to have a lot of problems with breathing and pain. So if you're hearing pain in my voice, that's what it is. So I think that'll just about do it for this edition. Next video could drop at any point in time, because I'm actually starting to feel kind of groovy on this. So I will talk to you soon. Have a pleasant day, good week, and if I don't talk to you before then, have a happy 4th of July. We freaking earned it.